Good, happy Sunday morning, December 15, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to, so let's get started. First up is the final day and day 3 of the 2019 Spirit of Giving Food Drive. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
To protect New Hampshire's future, we must provide all of our children with the building blocks for their future success. That means having the courage to put our children first.
Shaw's, Hannaford's, and Walmart locations are taking part in this, and each store has different donating options to make it easy. The giving started early this morning at Hannaford supermarkets in Hooksett. Many people grabbed a Fight Hunger box full of food or these giving cards for $5 or $10. Then at the Walmart in Manchester, a similar display full of bags including items that will make a complete meal for a family in need. All donations will be given directly to the New Hampshire Food Bank or the agencies it works with, such as food pantries, soup kitchens, and homeless shelters. In 2018, the food bank gave out more than 14 million pounds of food.
1 in 9 of our citizens are food insecure, and that means they really don't have access to the nutritious food that they need to lead a healthy lifestyle.
Walmart loves to give back to the community, and it's great for us to be able to all pull together as a team to be able to provide for our communities.
I'm a labor and delivery nurse at CMC, and we see so many people in our community that might need this, so it's nice to be able to give back in other ways.
Very important. It's this time of year, and I try to do it all year round, but at Christmas time, everyone gets in the spirit, and I'm part of that.
The Spirit of Giving food drive will last through Sunday. Please get out and donate if you can. Reporting in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New carpenter training facility opens. Dramatically expands vocational space. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Landowners, it's time for special year-end savings from Mahindra, the world's #1.
A new carpentry training center was opened today on Candia Road in Manchester, expected to boost the industry locally and allow for more convenience for people looking to learn trades.
Cut.
It's expected to be a game changer for the local workforce, a 24,000 square foot renovated building. It includes shop and state-of-the-art classroom space to train future carpenters and affiliated trades workers.
By bringing this training center to Manchester and to really take care of the people who live in this area is really the main goal of the opening of this facility.
This morning, carpenter union workers and elected leaders celebrated the opening of the new facility. The North Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters say it will give Granite Staters the opportunity to go through 4-year apprenticeships and fill a need for skilled workers.
So we have contractors come through, we partner with them, what are their needs, and then we provide that training for these members so that when they leave here, they're working in this community, meeting the specific needs of the contractors in this community.
It will also allow those training here to earn as they learn. Each apprentice will come here 4 times a year, 40 hours at a time. The rest of their experience will be on the job. They also have an agreement with Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston.
Apprentices that come through this program receive credit toward an associate's degree in construction management.
And apprentices will now be able to train closer to home. Before this, they had to travel to Massachusetts.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Crews in Sanborn repairing washed-out culvert as state officials monitor conditions. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Huge tax breaks for the rich while the middle class continues to struggle. That's what happens when billionaires are able to control the political system. No more tax breaks for billionaires. We're going to fight for equal pay for equal work, healthcare for all of our people, and a livable wage.
Well, the folks here at Homeland Security are watching this weather. So far tonight, they say there haven't been really any major issues, but some cities and towns did run into some problems, and officials are just asking residents to pay attention. Heavy rain causing problems on the roads. This was the Portsmouth traffic circle Saturday afternoon. New Hampshire DOT says clogged drains left the rainfall with nowhere to go, causing the area to flood. Crews were called in to clear the drains, allowing the water to recede. A similar situation playing out in Sanborn. Plummer Road was down to one lane after a section of it washed away.
We're dealing with a lot of water issues.
Roy Clark, foreman for the town's DPW, says debris clogged a culvert, causing water to back up, which led to half of the road breaking away.
With the rain and the snow and the melt off, the water really has nowhere to go. It all started with a plugged culvert, and it just trickled down to what you have here now.
Police Chief Stephen Hankard says the town has dealt with several weather-related problems over the last 24 hours.
We had so much rain, and last night the officers were dealing with the ice, and we had numerous cars off the road at the same time, to the point that another officer came in just to help handle the load. And now today, with all the rain, we're watching for the flooding and that sort of thing. And this was definitely the worst area that we had in town, was up on Plummer.
We are aware of some flood warnings on the seacoast, and then there's a localized flood warning in the Chichester-Epsom area. Then there's flood watches for the majority of the state.
Paul Raymond of New Hampshire Homeland Security says the department's assistance has not been requested in towns that have seen flooding, but adds it is ready if necessary.
We're monitoring those conditions, working with our local counterparts.
And Homeland Security says you should be ready too, especially anytime there are flood watches or warnings. They say have a safety kit on hand, make a plan with your family, and stay informed on weather conditions. We're live here in Concord. I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Goffstown fundraiser raises money for veterans through Liberty House. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to...
Well, helping our homeless veterans through food, fun, and some football. Today, a fundraiser was held at Village Trestle in Goffstown during a watch party for the Army-Navy football game. There was an auction and some raffles. All proceeds benefit Liberty House, a transitional living facility for homeless veterans.
So this money is going to go directly to the veterans that live in the house, and directly to the veterans for food and clothing.
And Liberty House is accepting money, food, and clothing donations.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Ugly sweaters for Myler raises money for Manchester Animal Shelter. For fourth year in a row, Total Image Running puts on events to benefit the Manchester Animal Shelter. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Now, write it off the lot, write it off your taxes with a Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment by December 31st. See your tax advisor for details.
Chapel Tractor, where you'll notice.
The Ugly Sweater 4-miler started and ended at Backyard Brewery, and for the fourth year in a row, Total Image Running is putting on the event to benefit the Manchester Animal Shelter. Some four-legged friends also took part in the festive fun today.
I think it's a good kickoff for the holiday season. People are really excited. They love this event. They love the theme, so you can't go wrong.
Organizers expected to raise well over $30,000 from today's race, and you saw some of the...
Okay, and there you go on that video in that report. Looks like a great event. Hollis woman sends over 150,000 cards overseas. Hollis woman is making sure military is not forgotten this holiday season. A Hollis woman is making sure the military is not forgotten this holiday season. Last month, we reported that Dr. Laura Landerman Gabber planned to send more than 100,000 holiday cards to troops all over the world. As of this weekend, she is about to send between 10,000 and 25,000 more cards overseas. The Hollis grandmother first enlisted her family in sending holiday greeting cards to troops 16 years ago. Each year, Landerman Gabber launches the Holiday Card Challenge, and in 2017, she officially launched holiday cards for our Military New Hampshire Challenge. The cards come from 30 states and Canada. Landerman Gabber recently made her third trip to the post office this year to add to the 150,000 cards already sent. That is amazing. Very cool indeed. And take a look at this photo of her and boxes of the cards. Look at all of the holiday cards in these boxes, as you can see. GOP protesters urge Pappas to oppose impeachment. House expected to vote next week. Let's take a listen to that video from WNUR News 9.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn with a work.
Supporters of President Trump held signs in downtown Manchester Saturday, protesting the impeachment inquiry.
People are working. We have businesses are opening. The economy is booming, and while all that's happening, the Democrats are just completely engulfed in a witch hunt.
This is part of a campaign to defend President Trump called Stop the Madness. They rallied outside Congressman Chris Pappas's office.
Chris Pappas's district supports President Trump, and we're calling on Chris Pappas to reflect the will of his district, the will of the voters, and choose his people over his party.
I think it's good when people express their opinions, and we encourage folks to call our office, to write in, to let us know what's on their minds, and
what they think about this particular issue or anything out there.
Representative Pappas will soon vote on impeachment, but he hasn't reached a final decision yet.
I'll be out there talking to lots of folks around New Hampshire, and I still have some reading to do.
The Trump administration told News 9 it's eyeing House members who haven't yet committed to voting for impeachment, like Pappas.
I'm doing my due diligence, but I remain very concerned about the actions of this president and how he compromised our national security, and I'm willing to stand up and do the right thing in the final analysis.
Chris Pappas is in a tough spot, and I think it would be good to see him support the president.
Organizers of that protest say they plan to continue to hold similar events through the impeachment process to support the president.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Two articles of impeachment against Trump handed to for full House vote. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Historic impeachment vote. President Trump pushing back after the House Judiciary Committee approved 2 articles of impeachment against him. ABC's David Wright is on Capitol Hill with reaction as those articles head for a full House vote. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Eva. President Trump is now all but certain to join a very exclusive club. Barring something extraordinary, he'll become the 3rd president in U.S. history to be impeached. But like Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton before him, it's also likely he will not be removed from office.
The Judiciary Committee will come to order, a quorum being present.
After weeks of hearings and days of debate, the historic vote on articles of impeachment took less than 10 minutes.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Stanton?
Aye. Every Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee voted for.
No.
Every Republican against 2 articles of impeachment stemming from President Trump's effort to get Ukraine to dig up dirt on his 2020 rival, Joe Biden.
Today is a solemn and sad day. For the 3rd time in a little over a century and a half, the House Judiciary Committee has voted articles of impeachment against the president for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
Those charges now go to the full House for a vote expected Wednesday. Then on to a trial in the Republican-controlled Senate. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, appearing on Fox News, pledged to work in total coordination with the White House on the impeachment trial, where the Constitution requires a 2/3 margin to remove the president. Republicans have hinted they'd like a speedy trial with no witnesses, one that would be over in a matter of days.
It's going nowhere in the Senate, but I really hope and pray the Senate will not just pick it up and dismiss it. America needs to hear from the witnesses, and we didn't get to hear from them here. This was a kangaroo court.
This has been a wild week. The president says he'd like to hear witnesses too, but said Friday he'll defer to the Senate.
I'll do whatever I want. Look, we did nothing wrong. I wouldn't mind a long process because I'd like to see the whistleblower who's a fraud.
Impeachment aside, the president actually said this was a pretty good week for him. He had the re-election of his friend and ally Boris Johnson in Great Britain, a breakthrough in the trade war with China, and the Supreme Court agreed to hear the cases about whether the courts should shield the president's finances from scrutiny. But impeachment tends to overshadow everything else. Whit?
Yeah, the president called it a wild week and another busy week ahead. David Wright for us on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.